Well, first you have to understand a little bit of what's called circadian rhythm, which is a normal light and day cycle that your brain is synchronized to. When you go into daylight savings time, what happens is you desynchronize those two rhythms. Your own brain is at a different rhythm than the society. And because of that discrepancy, now you're going to start having problems. For example, in the morning, you're going to have less light exposure, but at night, you're going to have more light exposure. So it's been shown that daylight savings time is associated with significant health issues. There's increased risk of cardiovascular disease, for example, including heart attacks. There's more frequency of stroke, more frequency of emergency room visit. You can even get more problems with moodiness and mental health, depression. And it's not something that's all of a sudden will change rapidly. Your circadian rhythm takes weeks, to get adjusted. Now, there is also some data showing also bad outcome when, for example, if you remember during the OPEC, problems, they changed to daylight savings time throughout the year to try to save oil. And there was significant health problem then. So the recommendation of the Academy of Sleep Medicine, it would be to shift everything to standard time, not the DST, but standard time. Have one time during the whole country that remains the same throughout the whole year. For example, there is a study that has been done to measure the amount of sleep people get on Monday after the Sunday. And the average is people get 40 minutes less sleep. So the recommendation is to start before daylight saving times. Start going to bed about 30 to 40 minutes earlier and put your alarm clock 30 to 40 minutes earlier. So you start shifting your whole body, your own circadian rhythm, slowly or slower over time, and that will help you, adjust to the change because it's not going to happen all of a sudden. You're working on it, basically. But you still will need 2 to 3 weeks at least to get fully adjusted because your sleep is needed. The way I explain to patients what sleep does is it's like taking your computer offline to download software, repair files, put things into permanent memory. So you basically do things that you can't do while you're awake. The typical example of that was, for example, Michael Jackson. When he was on propofol doesn't cause sleep, it causes basically coma. So when he was doing his show, or at least trying to do his show, he had to have teleprompters in front of his stage because he did not remember the words of his songs. So that's how dangerous lack of sleep can be. It affects memory, it affects cognitive function, it affects your ability to do things. You can have the response time of a drunk driver if you don't sleep enough. So it's quite sleep is quite important, and the average adult needs about 7.5 hours of sleep per day. The problem is that we don't have any data, you know, over what is the best. There's no data of daylight savings time being applied throughout the year for many, many years. We know that for a short period of time, it is harmful. We know that the standard time is more in sync with your own body, the rhythm. So daylight saving time would be a desynchronization that might lead to significant health issues. And the benefit haven't really been shown that well. The initial benefit was supposed to be you have more light during the day, so the stores can stay, later at night. You have less quote unquote crime because there's more sunlight. It's not in the dark. But I don't think, has been shown very well to be actually reality. For example, when they went to daylight savings time for a short period of time, there was more kids getting injured in the morning when they go to school because it's dark, you know?
And that's what opponents to the bill are discussing. Kids waiting in the dark for longer for the bus. It's going to be darker earlier. So, is there anything else that we have not discussed that you would like to mention?
Basically, what you want to do is, like I said, go to bed earlier, you know, and wake up earlier. Try to avoid caffeine and alcohol. Caffeine, because it basically stimulates your brain to stay up. Alcohol actually helps you sleep during the first half of the night, but then wakes you up during the second half of the night. So that's not a good thing either. So during those changes for the first weeks, after the change, those are things to be careful with.